Welcome back to the channel. Lexus quickly became a benchmark for luxury car reliability, a stark contrast to some European rivals that seem to come with built-in maintenance schedules. Lexus's approach was simple: build an incredibly comfortable, refined car that just works every single day. This focus on enduring quality is why they built such a fierce following. However, even Lexus isn't immune to the occasional hiccup, and some specific models have stood out for their unexpected problems, going against the brand's core promise. We're going to break down the Lexus models that truly earn their reputation for being bulletproof and highlight the few unfortunate exceptions that prove to be more problematic than expected. If you have ever owned a Lexus, we would love to hear your thoughts below. What was your experience like? Tell us in the comments. On paper, the 2006 Lexus RX 400h looked like a dream. Toyota's hybrid technology combined with Lexus comfort. In reality, the RX 400h aged about as well as unrefrigerated milk. The hybrid battery packs are expensive time bombs, while the inverters are prone to failure. The electric motors often started whining louder than the owners, stuck with the repair bills. You'd think a Lexus hybrid would be bulletproof like a Prius, but nope. This was one of Toyota's earlier experiments with upscale hybrids, and it felt more like a prototype that somehow slipped through quality control. Even worse, the RX 400h's resale value plummeted as word got out. Buying one used today might seem like a cheap way into the Lexus club, but unless you're prepared to replace an entire hybrid drivetrain, you're better off skipping this one. Then we have the 2007 and 2008 Lexus ES 350. Now you'd think a front-wheel drive luxury sedan based on the bulletproof Camry would be as close to foolproof as it gets, but Lexus somehow managed to fumble the bag. These years were plagued by oil leaks that snuck in around the camshaft towers, leading to greasy engine bays and costly repairs. But mechanical issues were just the start. The electronic throttle control system in these cars was glitchy, to put it kindly. There were even reports of unintended acceleration, and it wasn't long before the government started poking around with recalls. Then came the interior problems: dashboards that bubbled like boiling tar, leather seats that wore out faster than a $10 couch, and trim pieces that looked fine until a hot summer's day turned them into melted crayons for a car that marketed itself as a cushy, worry-free alternative to the German stuff. The 2007 to 2008 ES 350 delivered an uncharacteristically disappointing ownership experience. And who could forget the 2010 Lexus GX460 debacle? This was supposed to be the rugged luxury SUV you could take to the opera after tackling a muddy trail. But just months after hitting the market, Consumer Reports slapped it with a do not buy rating, an absolute kiss of death in the auto world. Why? Because the stability control system was so poorly calibrated that the GX could roll over during emergency maneuvers. We're talking a full-blown four wheels off the ground barrel roll. Lexus rushed out a software fix and later models drove better, but the damage was already done. People got spooked. Early GX460s still carry that stigma, and unless you're 100% sure the vehicle got the software update and has been obsessively maintained, you're gambling with a £5,000 liability. And no, having heated leather seats doesn't make up for the possibility of flipping like a pancake on the freeway. If you find the video useful so far, be sure to hit the like button to support us. Now let's switch gears and talk about the Lexus models that truly live up to their bulletproof reputation, the ones that not only wear the badge with pride, but make you wonder why you'd ever consider anything else. Let's start with the 2012 to 2015 RX 350. This is Lexus doing what it does best, building a quiet, comfortable, outrageously reliable SUV that just works. The 3.5-litre V6 under the hood is a masterpiece of no-nonsense engineering. It's naturally aspirated, which means no turbo lag, no blown turbos, and no complicated boost systems to worry about. The transmission is smooth, the power delivery is buttery, and most importantly, these engines regularly hit 250,000 miles without skipping a beat. Inside you get a cocoon of soft leather, wood trim that doesn't peel, and switchgear that still clicks like new a decade later. Maintenance, oil changes, brake pads, maybe a water pump if you're really racking up miles. Compared to the constant money vacuum that is a used German SUV, the RX 350 is the financial equivalent of a warm blanket and a savings account. It's not flashy, but it quietly outlasts everything else in its class. Next up, the 2014 to 2017 GS350. This one's a bit of a sleeper. It never grabbed headlines like the BMW 5 Series or Audi A6, but that's exactly what makes it so great. It wasn't trying to show off. This GS was for drivers who wanted luxury, performance, and peace of mind all in one discreet, beautifully built package. The naturally aspirated 3.5-litre V6 is a gem. Responsive, smooth, and practically allergic to braking. It doesn't matter if you're commuting, road tripping, or carving up a canyon road, this thing just delivers. Rear-wheel drive versions feel light on their feet, while all-wheel drive variants add a dose of security when the weather turns sour. The cabin is classic Lexus. Everything is exactly where it should be, and it still feels tight and rattle-free years down the line. And because it was overshadowed by flashier rivals, used prices are often surprisingly reasonable. This is the stealth wealth option, quietly competent, impeccably built, and ready to serve for years to come. Now let's talk hybrids again, but this time, Lexus got it right. The 2016 to 2020 RX 450h is everything the RX 400h wanted to be, and more. Powered by a newer hybrid system that actually works reliably, the RX 450h gives you around 30 miles per gallon in real-world driving without sacrificing comfort or capability. The handoff between electric and gas power is seamless. The regenerative braking isn't jerky, and best of all, long-term maintenance on the hybrid components is refreshingly low drama. These models benefit from years of hybrid development under Toyota's belt, and it shows. The electric motors are stronger, the battery packs last longer, and there are fewer complaints across the board. You also get all the Lexus niceties: whisper quiet cabin, real wood trim, plush seats, and tech that still feels modern even today. In a world where luxury hybrids often feel like half-baked science experiments, the RX 450h is a refined and well-executed machine that truly does it all. Then there's the 2010 to 2012 LS460. This was Lexus's flagship sedan at the time, and even now, it oozes class. The 4.6-litre V8 up front isn't just powerful, it's silky smooth and eerily quiet. Press the gas and the car glides forward like it's levitating. The suspension soaks up potholes like they don't exist, and the cabin is dead silent at 80 miles per hour. It's the kind of car you could drive from New York to Atlanta and arrive feeling fresher than when you left. And despite being loaded with features, adaptive air suspension, soft close doors, ventilated seats, this generation of the LS avoided the overcomplication that plagued its German rivals. It still feels solid. Parts availability is decent, labor isn't outrageous, and most problems are rare and well documented. Used examples often hover around the $15,000 to $20,000 mark, which is an absolute steal for what was once a $70,000 luxury limo. If you want full-size comfort with mid-size maintenance bills, this LS is hard to top. And let's not forget just how consistent these models are across the board. With the RX 350, you're getting a family hauler that's likely to outlast your kid's entire school career. With the GS 350, you're getting that sweet spot of V6 muscle and quiet composure without the headache of German electronics. The RX 450h offers the rare combo of luxury and fuel efficiency.